Mr. DJ Kim in South Korea. Good morning.
Good morning.
So nice to have you for my vodcast, Dr. M vodcast, which has started in September. And I heard you speak at Gerard Thatcher's visual lean management summit. And I was very impressed with your journey in lean, especially in the footwear industry. So that's, I said, let me speak to you and your experiences. So it's my honor to have you with me. So in India, we say namaskar.
감사합니다. In Korea.
Namaskar.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks to be my chief guest. And this is the episode 11. There you go.
Okay.
This happens to me often, so don't worry about it because there you are, sir. We are on episode 11. I want to tell you something about the series, if I'm not spoken to you before. It was because I started my lean journey, introduced to that way back in 1991, so it's a long decades ago. And you know my sensei Masaki, who is your sensei also now that you are in Kaizen Institute, and I learned a lot from him. So this, and then you also know that I'm certified TPM practitioner. I studied TPM in Kaizen Institute itself in Germany. Thanks to Sensei Masaki for giving me that opportunity. So what my experience and what I have been learning is, you initiate continuous improvement whichever way you want to. You can take the lean route, the TPS route, the theory of constraint route, lean Six Sigma, Sigma route. You can do agile, you can do Scrum, and there are a lot of terminologies that have recently come about. So I'm not saying anything about implementation in this series. You implement the way you want to implement. DJ, I'm going to call you DJ, if it is okay with you. DJ, my concern and our concern has been, how do we support and sustain this movement that we have started? Initially, we get success, and then somehow something happens, it stagnates. Sometimes it takes a dip, and again, we have to put in equal or more effort to bring it back. So let me introduce you, DJ. It's my what you call that. It's expected of me, and it is required that I introduce you. Everybody knows you in LinkedIn, and everybody knows you as DJ Kim from South Korea. And there you are. I mean, you are so authentic with respect to the Nike innovation, because you are you have the certificate of process engineering, and you have done your master's in international trade in Northeast Asia, and your graduation in English language literature. That's way back in 1992. Okay. And what impressed me was the Nike Innovation and Training Center that you were, and then you were even certified over there in 2003. That was nearly 2 decades ago. Okay. Lean mastery. Okay, and I'm sure you would have this training and this you would have put into your practice for you started your career in 2001. That's again 2 decades plus. So there you are, your consultancy. You have done across the globe, across the world, and in different companies. But one thing good is that you are a process expert, so everything is process. So you have it at the
Right.
component
Yeah.
level, the sub-assembly level, and the assembly level. You got input, conversion, and output. So as a lean expert, especially from Nike, and being trained over there, you would have done wonders, and you have done wonders. You started as a coach, continuous improvement coach in Shell, that's the petroleum company.
Yeah.
You know, but DJ, I'm very close to Shell. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because my father worked in Burma Shell.
Hmm.
Okay. And he worked for nearly 30 years.
Oh.
So I respect Shell because whatever I am today is because of my earnings from my father, who brought food to this thing and looked after me and I mean, he and his family. And so thanks to Shell, he worked only in one company, that was Burma Shell.
Oh.
Okay, so that's my, when you say Shell, I get a little emotional because of my father's connection with Shell. And then
Yes.
you went off and then you put in your TPM efforts in Johnson Controls.
Yes.
And then you were with Productivity Inc. Okay, that all of us know Norman Bodek and Productivity. And there you worked in petroleum development of Oman operation and maintenance of lean deployment. The main focus was developing lean management systems. So that's the expertise that you have, and that is why I like your authenticity and your whatever you say has got this background of authenticity. And that's what I want to learn from you and spread it to our lean community. It is time that we pay back to the community so that the youngsters who are coming in will understand from all our experience where we have sweated it out. Okay, so that was the main intention of my series.
Okay.
Then you joined Kaizen Institute, and there again I get emotionally involved because both our sensei is Masaki Imai. I learned a lot from him, a decade or so with him. So there again you did lean deployment for ASML. What does ASML stand for?
This is a Dutch company who is developing the facility for semiconductor. So this is the most important company for the semiconductor, because this is the maybe the one and only company who make lithography.
Oh,
Lithography with the extreme UV methodology. So it's quite complex, but yeah.
That's the
These guys,
ultraviolet. You use the ultraviolet.
Yeah.
Okay. And you supported Philips also. That's also lighting, is it? Philip Morris International.
no, this
Retail
is
productivity.
cigarette.
Cigarettes. Oh my
This
God.
is a cigarette, Marlboro.
Okay. Marlboro. Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad. And this is what I really love about it. And this is what we are going to talk about. It's your 13 years as a lean enterprise manager in Nike footwear operations in China and Indonesia. Amazing, sir, as a lean coach and Kaizen projects. So we would like to hear a lot of your 13 years experience. And that's why we have selected the story, the sneaker story, that is on our podcast, the episode 11. And you're going to talk about your story, which I put as my lean journey, which is actually DJ's lean journey. So DJ, I hand it over to you and let's talk about your journey. And thank you again for coming on my podcast. Hand it over to you, sir.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
You can share your screen, sir.
Yeah. Do you see now?
Yeah, you can put it on the slideshow mode, sir.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
So I think you started where I ended. So great.
Okay, just let me start with the brief history of sneakers. This is about the story of the sneaker and lean journey. So a lot of players here, but I just want to mention, you see the green line here, that before that, the Converse or Puma and Adidas and Onitsuka Tiger, which was sold by the Philip Knight to USA. So before, it was all designed and engineered and produced by this company. But the start of Nike was different, right? The Philip Knight just import the Onitsuka Tiger to USA, and he was just kind of a trader. Yeah, he didn't own any designer or engineering guys on production. But when the relation with the Onitsuka have problem, that the
DJ,
was,
I have a request. Can you speak a little louder because the audio
okay.
is, yeah, nice of you.
Okay.
Sorry for that
okay.
interruption.
No problem.
So you were saying that Onitsuka Tiger was a trading company and they had no clue about research and design.
No, I mean the Nike. Nike started as a Blue Ribbon Sports. Blue Ribbon Sports. This was the first of the Nike, before Nike. Okay. So Philip Knight, the CEO of Nike, imported the Tiger shoes to USA. So he was selling. So he was just only a trader. Okay.
BRS was a trader, right?
Yes.
It's BRS stands for
Blue Ribbon Sports.
Blue Ribbon Sports.
Yeah, this is the name of the Nike before.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
So Nike was known as Blue Ribbon Sports before it got the name Nike.
Correct.
Okay, sir.
And the Philip Knight started to design and ask to Onitsuka Tiger to make his own design. Okay.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have any factory, but he not only just imported, but also he makes some design and asked them to make. So gave them order, right? So it's bit developing. And then there was a problem with the Onitsuka Tiger and the Nike, kind of a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
So it's a long story, and Nike was looking for another manufacturer. So he visited South Korea, 1974, and the first Nike shipment was done 1977. Okay. And after that,
that was in South Korea.
Yes. So the last line is South Korea.
Yes.
So before Nike, that the only export shoes was Converse.
Yes.
Okay. And then this is very just basic, no high tech, but from Nike, that they need the high tech technology.
Okay.
And then already we have kind of a shoemaking technology going through the Korean War and also Vietnam War. We exported a lot of army shoes for the Vietnam War. So at that time, the international. Okay.
DJ, I just want to understand this, and what I've understood from you, I'm just saying that is that we started in US, okay, and BRS Blue Ribbon shoes started in US, took the help of Tiger in Japan, and then because of certain reason, they moved over to South Korea somewhere around in 1974. The BRS and then Nike, then called Nike, came to South Korea for design and making of shoes somewhere in 1974.
Yes.
And initially it was canvas. We know canvas is not high-tech tech. And then the first Nike you said was in 1977 in South Korea.
Yes, right. Yeah.
And South Korea is known for that. I think shoemaking was started in South Korea in 1990, if I'm not 19.
Yes.
1919 in South Korea. The best I know.
That's right.
Okay, am I understanding this start very well, sir? I mean, you're the authority. Correct. I'm just learning from you.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. From that time that the footwear business was changing. Okay, it's like this. So mostly the business start from design and engineering, and then production, and supply chain management and marketing and sales, and managing the enterprise. So before Nike, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was done by only the company, one company. Let's say Adidas and Puma. All done by themselves. Everything was done by themselves. Okay, but from Nike, the characteristic of footwear was changing. So design is done by designer in US. Okay, and engineering is done in development center of manufacturing partners, which is in Korea and Taiwan. Now, and then manufacturing and supply chain management is done manufacturing partners.
Okay.
And it's now China, Vietnam, and Indonesia, and India also. Okay.
Okay.
So Nike totally changed the footwear manufacturing.
So what I hear you saying, DJ, is Adidas and Puma did everything in-house, but Nike changed the concept and went to US, South Korea, etc., where Nike found that the skill level and expertise is there. So they tapped on the expertise in those areas. Right. That's what I understand from what you said.
Yeah. So that is mostly due to the footwear manufacturing is labor-intensive industry. Okay, and they started from Japan, but because of a high labor cost, they moved to Korea and Taiwan, and also same region, Korea, Taiwan, labor cost increased, so they moved to China, Indonesia, and Vietnam. So that's how it changes.
Excellent, sir.
Yeah. And personally, I grew up in the shoe city, which rise and fall very quickly. Is Busan, Korea. Okay, so just I explained to you that the labor cost increase that from Japan, it started to move to Taiwan and Korea. Okay, and just it grow very quickly. But so about 1988 was a Seoul Olympic game. Maybe you remember, but at that time, it's a peak. Yeah, and in 5 years that all manufacturing, footwear manufacturing in Korea just moved to other countries. So it's like the 20 years very quickly rise and fall very quickly. So, right? And even footwear was top 3 exports in 1970s in Korea. So, yeah. But all because of labor cost increase with the democracy in Korea. That
So what you highlighted here is in 1972. It was Japan, Taiwan, and Korea.
Yeah.
And then when it came to 1988,
Yeah.
it was Taiwan and Korea.
Yeah.
And then in
1991,
yeah.
Taiwan and Korea started to invest China and Indonesia, and is started to decrease in Korea.
Okay.
So quick rise and quick fall. Yeah.
Okay. So from just to understand this, from 72 to 88, you had quite a lot of dominance in South Korea. After that, it shifted to China and Indonesia. Am I reading it right?
Yeah, correct.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Yeah. I didn't think that I was going to work in the footwear manufacturing, but yeah, it was all coincidence.
Yeah.
So I joined Changshin 2002. This company began the operation 1981, and the first company who implemented the TPS among the Nike factory. And here is just kind of a background how Nike and the Changshin Group started the lean journey, and they cooperated to proliferate the lean efforts through all Nike footwear partners. So let me just briefly talk about the Nike side. That the before, Nike just focused on the product itself. They didn't much care about the how it was produced. Okay, but they had always a problem in the quality and delivery. Always delivery late. Okay, and quality problem. So manufacturing R&D team was looking for a change in the manufacturing approach. So they were studied Lean and the Six Sigma, and they finally chose Lean instead of Six Sigma. And on the other side, the Changshin was very small company among Nike, almost like 40 factories at that time. Just after a financial crisis in Korea, 1998, actually this export company earned a lot of money, because they got the dollar and the value was double. And with the money he earned, that he invested to improve his operation, his company. So he started to benchmark TPS in Nagoya. He sent all managers to Nagoya, Japan. And even he shared the lean story with the Nike leadership.
So this initiative was taken by the CEO of CSG.
Yeah, for the Changshin side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the top management who took the initiative, the CEO.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So 2001, that the Nike attended the Lean seminar in Kentucky University by the TSD Lean Consulting Company.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, that the Changshin Vietnam, the code name is Vijay. He started to implement the Lean and reduce the lead time hugely. And because of this, that the Changshin Vietnam decided as a model company. Okay. So after that, 2001, TSD was selected as a consulting company. They were competing with the Kaizen Institute, but because of there was a guy from Toyota. So TSD won the project because of they had a Toyota guy. Okay. And
Toyota, people from Toyota know what it is. So they have gone through the drill, and the brand probably, And his, of course, expertise. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody will invest so much money just because he came from Toyota. I'm sure he would have had the expertise for them
Yeah.
to take over,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah. So after decided, so the combination of the consulting company and manufacturing R&D team from Nike and also Changxin Group send the guys, and they work together, and they started to change the footwear manufacturing process forever. So they thought about the new layout and the new machinery, and with the new layout and the new machinery, they began new operation 2002. So I will talk about the how the overall layout and the manufacturing process changed in next slides.
okay.
And this is about the how Nike and Changxin Group and my lean journey crossed. So Nike started 1998 and Changxin Group also, and I joined 2002. And up to this year, it's almost like a 25 years of Nike lean journey. And among there, so initial 13 years, I was work with them as a lean manager in Vietnam, China, and Indonesia. So I want to share what I have been through with the Nike lean journey.
Yeah, I'm very anxious to know all your learnings.
Yeah. So this is just typical footwear manufacturing process. We have 4 core processes. So just briefly, raw material comes in, and largely the 2 parts of the footwear. So
Yeah.
this is we call upper. This is a
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a kind of very similar with the apparel. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cutting and stitching, and in between we have some processes based on the design. Yeah. And the sole is like the midsole and outsole.
Yeah.
Is coming together, and maybe you don't know the stock fit, but yeah, it's footwear term, yeah, terminology. Stock fit is the combination attaching of a midsole and outsole. We call it stock fit.
Yeah.
So after this, that we finally assemble 2 parts. Now that's very simple.
Yep.
But inside is very complicated. Yeah. Okay, this is typical layout of footwear manufacturing. So all departmental. So material warehouse, the cutting, stitching, it's like this. So material comes in, and the cutting and stitched upper come to assembly. So for the bottom parts, so all the chemical plants make a sole and attach together and sent to assembly line to be cemented with the upper. So
this was before you implemented lean, sir?
Right, before.
So they were working as silos.
Correct, silos.
Yeah.
This was more than 50 years.
Okay.
Nothing changed. Yeah. And so many sizes lead the batch and queue, and very few changeover, and too much inventory, and inspection at the end of the process. Yeah, only quantity matters. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I talk about you about the new manufacturing process by the Nike. So they expanded the factory, and they make 1 plant. So they call it plant A as a model line. So they put all the core process in 1 building. So make a connected process from cutting, stitching, and stock fit assembly. So all 4 core processes in 1 building. And we introduced value stream management rather than departmental or functional silo. Yeah. And all processes connected by the flow rack and the Kanban and pull system, and also standard work in use, metrics are measured, and improved activities. Yeah. Okay.
DJ, can you show the earlier slide? So these were not only a separate compartment, but they were working in separate buildings.
Correct. Correct.
They were all
Separate
working in
buildings.
separate buildings, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'm laughing now, but then it is 50 plus years. And then the new one, they all were put under the same roof.
Correct. That's right.
Okay, okay, I understand now. Yes, sir.
Okay. And on top of this plant A, they Nike set up a NITC, Nike Innovation and Training Center, on the second floor.
Okay,
That's where I were trained for
okay.
a year. Yeah.
So it's very convenient. You get trained in the first floor and you come to the Gemba and do your work in the Gemba. So training into implementation, right, sir?
That's right. Yeah. Convenient, but very difficult, because already many improvement was done on the shop floor, and still they ask us to find the problem and improve. So that's we're done to the year. Okay.
Oh, this was before lean. Okay, this is
Yeah,
before lean.
before lean, based on upper components. So just I want to make kind of a comparison in terms of
Yes,
lead,
yes, sure,
lead
sir.
time.
Yeah.
So from low material, so before cutting and after cutting, we have a huge inventory.
Yeah.
So we say the 8 hours is 1 day. Okay.
Hmm.
So like this, all the push through the assembly up to the finished warehouse. So lead time was almost a month. So when you have a new material, so it will be come out after months.
My God.
Okay.
This was batch processing, is it?
Correct. Correct.
Okay. So let's see what happened after you implemented lean.
So we connected all the process in one group, from cutting, stitching, assembly.
Yeah.
So the not only the process time of each process, we reduce the inventory between. Okay.
Hmm.
And also we use the pull system, and using also Kanban. So we control the maximum inventory level. So it reduced like 11 days. It's more
Yeah.
than half reduced. Okay. Okay.
Very good, sir.
So at the second floor of the plant A, so we were trained mostly on the shop floor. So there was only very little theoretical, just introduction and explanation of each modules, like a quick changeover or mistake proof, or how to do a value stream mapping sort of things. And most of the time we were on the shop floor.
Excellent.
Yeah. And sometimes we do kind of a team building and cut racing.
Yeah.
And the final photo is the at the end of the day. I mean the graduation ceremony.
Hmm.
So this took 1 year.
So most of your learning, DJ, came from the Gamba.
Correct.
Oh, very
Correct.
nice, sir. Very nice, excellent, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Very good.
And 1 year later, I relocated in the Qingdao factory, my home factory actually. So Nike was trying to proliferate the lean to conventional line. So there were 8 requirements to be a lean line. Okay. So actually, this is already in the Nike site. you can find it, the case study,
Yeah.
the Nike.
Yeah.
So I just make a little bit visually of the 8 requirements relating with the TPS house.
Mm.
So first one is, first 2 is about the adjusting time, and the other 2 is about the Jidoka. Okay, and just let me explain very quickly. So first one is the at least 2 processes are in the same building. And push system using Kanban and flow rack is the second. And unknown system should be there, and in-station quality, no inspection at the end. Okay, and also lean metrics captured and tracked. And then standard work are established, and the 5S feature management. And finally, the value stream management. These are the 8 requirements.
Okay.
Okay.
Good, sir.
Okay. So Qingdao factory is almost same with the Vietnam factory. I mean, the conventional line. So in terms of a physical change, that we cannot move the long, almost like 100 meters assembly line into the stock bearing line. So it's quite difficult. So we decided to move the cutting to the stitching process. So 2 process in 1 building. Okay.
This you led this movement here in this factory. You were looking after it.
Yeah, this is the factory I was. I led the lean conversion in Qingdao.
So you learned earlier from the institute that you talked about, the Nike Institute, and now this is where you came and implemented all that, right, sir?
That's right. Yeah.
So this is where your hands-on experience of your learning has come in your factory. Am I right,
Correct.
sir?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So we connected to process and also use Kanban and push system, and we installed unknown system and standard work and in-station quality, and everything was done. And
excellent. So all what you were learning and getting trained over there, that was in Vietnam, right?
Sorry?
Earlier training, which you said the first floor training and Gamba, this thing was in Vietnam, your training center?
Correct, Vietnam.
Yeah, so from there you came and implemented all your learning in, this is in South Korea, right?
No, this is China.
This is in China. And you were in charge of making all these changes.
Correct.
Right, DJ? Thanks, DJ. Good.
Yeah. So among the effort that the 1 pair flow in the stitching cell was very challenging, but it was worse to do. So just let me show you that how we change it. So this is a before. So mostly batch and queue. So operators not facing each other, and every table there was almost like 12 pairs.
Yeah, it looks like
each table.
Yeah, it looks like isolated islands working.
Yeah.
What did you do? Yeah.
Yeah, and after kind of line balancing, and we also designed the flow of each component, and we put the flow rack in some area. So we designed the flow, and we just make the 1 pair flow on each operator's table, working table. So they were just giving and handover and giving to the next operator by hand, not a batch. Just they hand on to the next operator 1
So this
pair.
was some sort of a cell, sir?
Yes.
This was a cell formation where they just hand it over and they go. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Excellent, sir. Okay. So what happened when you did this?
So this is actually not easy. Yeah. Still, I'm sure that still, if you visit any footwear company, the each stitching operator stack like components like 3 or 5 pairs on his floor, because this is what hinders one pair flow. So just first one is the machine. In terms of machine breakdown quite often, and the needle broken and thread broken. And in terms of man, that some operators are unskilled.
This is when you adopted the to find out what is the structured problem methods to find out the root cause.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because in order to implement the one pair flow, a lot of problems surfaced. Yeah. So most of the case, they just give up. It's too difficult. Too much time line stop and productivity goes down, and the supervisor was blamed.
So you use this adaptation of fishbone diagram, what hinders one pair flow, and
Correct.
this is the results. And then what happens, sir, after you did this?
Yeah, so analyze the 4M chart.
Yeah.
And then we implemented kind of a countermeasure. Yeah, how to make it successful. So in terms of machine, that the autonomous maintenance
TPMs,
and preventive maintenance, and for the man, that the upskill and multi-skill training, and absenteeism planning, and for the material, that just-in-time delivery and the QA system before coming to the line, and also supervisory skill training, and also leader standard work is very important.
Yeah, so the entire focus was how to get one pair flow smooth. Yes. And these were the hindering factors and the countermeasures. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Very clear, very clear, very good, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So learning from the one pair flow is that the initially that if we start the one pair flow, that the huge problems surfaced, right?
And it's good, no, sir. The more the problem surfaces, the better it is for improvement.
Yes, but that's a good attitude. But in the beginning,
I know. I wish there was no problem. But if there is no problem, then none of us will have a job. So the more the problem comes, it is very healthy that people are showing there is problems, isn't it? Instead of putting it under the carpet, and as you said, you don't give up. The problem comes, we will solve the problem.
That's right, but still it was quite difficult when the problem happened and we don't achieve the target, and that makes just people go back to the previous method. They don't want the one pair flow because of too much problem arise. So,
and that's why you require leadership's help to say, okay, we'll solve the problem out.
That's right. So the number 4 is that the team leader's role is very important to make it successful.
This is what, yes, team leaders. Yes, sir. This is very important, sir. Team leaders' role is very important to make one piece flow. Yes, this is where then they will not be scared of having problems because they know team leader will help them to solve the problems. Correct, no, sir?
Correct. Yeah, that's correct. Besides this, a lot of projects are done, but just with the time constraint that I just go to the next chapter.
That's okay. So, then you became a lead manager in your factory.
2010, I moved to Indonesia to help to support the new factory. So there was nothing. So we start from scratch. So as a lean manager, that I was designing the lean layout and the material flow all over the factory, in and out and inside. On the other hand, I started training for leaders and also operators. Okay, so we took all the 23 local leaders to Vietnam factory, so NITC, Vietnam factory, to show them how the new production will be like. Because of these guys were working before in other factory, and they were all just used to the silo production.
Yeah.
So theoretical training is not much helpful. So to see is to believe, yeah. So I just brought them to the Vietnam factory and show them.
Okay, so what I hear you saying is when you went to Indonesia and you found these boys, you not only gave them as a lean enterprise manager, not only theoretical training, but that you took them and showed them a benchmark in Vietnam.
Right.
At the Gamba.
Yeah, our brother factory in Vietnam.
Yeah.
So for the 3 weeks, yeah, they got training.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. At the same time that we started the training for operator. So for 8 weeks, it's 2 months. 2 months only training for the 8,000 operator.
My God.
Yeah, it's huge investment, but it was worse.
But you had the top management support to do all this.
Yeah, sure. They support you. So because of training and education, that we got a very improved the ramp up. So normally typical ramp up is very slow, yeah, until you reach the target production capacity. But due to the training, that we reach the target condition very quickly. Yeah. So it was recognized by the Nike as a best practice of new factory.
Wow.
Okay. While I was leading the lean efforts in Indonesia, that inside of Nike, there was an issue. Yeah. So after almost like 10 years of lean implementation, actually they invited all the manufacturing partners to be a lean company, but only less than 10% was sustainable of the lean learnings or lean fruits. Yeah. So as Artvan said, the only 5 to 7% is successful. So,
yeah, Art Brain from Den Haag.
Yeah, correct.
And Mark Delucio wrote a book on that called Flat Lines.
Yeah, that's right. So after 10 years, the reflection is that what's the issue with the sustainability? So this is a kind of a analysis. Yeah. So we call it the lean 1.0. Too much focus on the process only. Yeah? A lot of lean modules like a tech time, material flow, Kanban, Angon, SPAD, sort of things, but not much on the leadership and people.
So there was too much emphasis on the tools.
Correct.
And not on leadership and people. That's what you're saying.
Correct.
So that is why you expanded the triangle to leadership, process, and people.
Yeah. Based on this reflection that they expanded the scope.
Yeah.
So fortunately, my factory was selected as a Lean 2.0 pilot.
Yeah.
So we tried many new modules in our Gemba. So I was leading all the new module. So for the people side that we started the quality circle.
Yeah.
And also the Kaizen event for the well, not only the production, but also for their own inside the company. For example, this one is about how to improve the canteen meal, quality of the meal.
Pardon me, I couldn't hear it. Quality of?
Meal, lunch meal.
Yeah, so even small things matter. So you did all this Kaizen part of it, getting them involved in even small issues, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, this is big issue, but
Yeah.
we didn't think about the lunch, but for them, lunch was very important.
Yeah.
And they wanted to improve it by themselves. We didn't do it. We didn't do ourselves as a lean team, but we just gather like 15 team members from all the department and make them improve their own meal. Yeah. For the leadership side, that the lean leadership was introduced, and among them, the leader standard work also introduced. So all together, this that we call it Lean 2.0. So same emphasis on the leadership and people, not only the process. Okay. So for example, for the leadership, that the Hoshin Kanli was initially focused, but with the Lean 2.0, that leadership development, leader standard work, supervisory skill assessment, and how to lead a Kaizen event, his own line or circle sort of things.
So there was, as I see it, there's been a lot of shift towards leadership development, leadership standard work on the leadership front, and also on the people side. You got in the upskills, quality circle, Kaizen event, and employee engagement. On the process side, you stuck to 3P and modernization.
Yeah, we just added.
Yeah.
Added to the previous ones.
So the thrust was more on leadership and people.
Yeah, correct.
That was a change in the thinking.
Correct.
That's your reflection. Right. That's your reflection.
That's right.
Now.
That's right.
And that paid off.
Correct.
Okay.
So in the beginning, that the thinking was like this: if we make the right process, the right products will just come out. But that's wrong. At the end, that it's the people who do the process, right? So we need to focus more on the people, at the same amount of the attention to the process, because the people will do the process at the end, because footwear is not automatically produced.
Yeah. So if I can understand what you're saying, which is true not only on footwear, I think for all the organization, while process is important, but process can work only with the help of leadership, as you have mentioned here, and through the people.
Correct. Correct.
Correct, sir?
Correct.
Process can only be effective with the leadership, which you have already marked over there, and the people.
Correct. That's
right, sir?
Yeah. I like the word from Toyota culture. It said, we build the people to build the car. Yeah. So people first before process. Yeah. So these are the learnings of my footwear manufacturing, footwear lean journey. So lean should be implemented as a management system, not only for the production.
Yes. Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And the flow is the future state to achieve and need to pursue continuously.
Yes, sir.
As I mentioned that the footwear is very labor intensive and mainly by hand of the people. And if we just don't pay attention, it just fall back very quickly. So you take a month to make it and just eat 4 overnight. Yeah, so we need to pay attention and pursue continuously. And lean is for everybody, everywhere, every day. Yeah, it's from actually Imai Masaki.
Yes.
So, but the problem was that the most of the lean activity was done by the lean team. So leadership, not much care, and the front workers, not much care. So it also the cause of the lean was not sustained. So it should be done by everybody, every day, everywhere. So it's very important, I think.
Okay.
And for the last, but not the least, so PDCA is a never-ending cycle to make the process people better continuously. And leadership is the key for the driving the cycle. Yeah, if leadership is not doesn't care that it just fall back very quickly. Okay, no more plan, delay, cancel, apology cycle. So this is my learning. Okay, this is done.
Thank you. I need to have a couple of words with you on the summing up part of it, so you can get out of your screen sharing.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And I want to talk to you about this summing up the way I understood it.
Yeah.
DJ, it was good, this thing. And one of the things that you emphasized on is process is important, but for process to be effective, and since you're a TPN gentleman, you know the difference between effective and efficient. So for process to be effective, you require leadership, not only involvement, but they have to be, they have to have standards, as you said, they have to have leadership development, and you should also have the people totally involved in that. So those are the 3 P's that you emphasized on. And what, in one word, your experience in footwear and Nike, you were satisfied with all these, so you evolved gradually, and then you reached a stage where you said things would look brighter, because Nike is looking brighter now.
Yeah, correct.
So what do you think, all your efforts that you have put in, now Nike is following the same path?
No, I don't think so. They are still try to make it better, and
it's continuous. But whatever you have done, whatever you all have initiated, you are able to sustain it to certain degrees. But you keep improving. But whatever you did not fall back. It got sustained, and then you improved further in Nike. Am I right in assuming that?
Yeah, correct. But not 100%. Some just after I left, then some parts fall back with the other leadership, and leader was changed, and also the factory leadership was changed, and the leadership was not much have a knowledge of the lean, so all the efforts were not supported by the leadership. So unfortunately, some part of lean initiative fall back. Just what I heard.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
So any last word for our continuous improvement community? A word of expert advice? I mean, we are never expert. Out of all your experience that you had, 2 decades, and now that you're a consultant, one word that you want to tell us.
Thank you for inviting me for your podcast, and I'm very pleased to share my experience with the lean community and with you also.
So thank you very much, DJ, because my endeavor has been that people from various industries will come and express their achievements, their everything is not a smooth sail, and we exchange our learnings to each other, and we improve our functioning as continuous improvement professionals, and we'll look, as you rightly said, vision is a dream, but we have to move towards it. Right?
Correct.
Thank you very much, DJ, and have a good day and Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you.
Thank
A
you.
Lunar New Year for you all, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
correct.
think there's a tiger now.
Yeah, this year tiger.
This year, tiger. Happy New Year, tiger.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Have a nice year. And
Yeah.
thank you for sharing, sir.
Yeah, 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
Namaste, namaste, namaskar. Thank you. You are my guest. I can't leave before you leave.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next time. Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you next time.